All been there, honestly. You sit down to study, then within minutes, you're bored out of your mind. Maybe you'll start thinking that studying isn't meant to be fun. It's meant to be painful. It's a chore. What if my dad was right? Where he had to go study in a volcano and fight crocodiles at the same time. But here's the truth actually. Studying doesn't have to be a drag. In fact, by the end of this video, you'll probably learn how to study and make it not only enjoyable, but something you actually look forward to. So, let's dive in. Reason studying feels boring. You're not hitting the sweet spot. So here's the deal. Your brain needs the right level of challenge to stay engaged. If something's too easy, then it's boring. If it's too hard, it's frustrating. Everybody knows whenever you go into ML match, Mobile Legends, you smurf and you win every single game. It feels nice for a few rounds, but afterward it gets repetitive and too easy for you. But on the other side, what if you were going against the most best and elite players, the global players? They will always be trashing you and like you won't be able to improve because everybody's gonna be so good. And yeah, the key is to stay just beyond your edge. Challenge yourself enough to keep your brain engaged, but not so much that it feels impossible. Studying isn't actually about the physical act of memorizing or reading. It's about how you think about what you're learning. Instead of mindlessly flipping through all of these notes and these flashcards like 200 different times, try turning the information into a story or an analogy. Gamify it actually. Make your brain work in new ways, and suddenly studying becomes a lot more interesting. Here's a mind-blowing truth. If you expect studying to be boring, it will be boring. No matter how hard you try to be engaged with it, it will definitely be boring. This is called the expectation effect. If you go into a class thinking, oh, this is gonna be so boring, all the lecturers just gonna yap and whatever in the class, I'm not even gonna learn anything. Guess what? You actually won't. You won't learn anything. You won't pay attention. You'll probably be talking to your friends and you'll get called on like 5 times because you are talking to your friends. This creates a negative feedback loop, and you don't like the subject, so you don't study it. And if you don't study it, you don't like the subject, and you also will get bad grades because of you not liking the subject and you not studying it. And it keeps repeating and repeating. But expectations don't actually affect your grades, do they? You can impact your mental and physical health too. Studies show that if you expect to age poorly, you're more likely to develop diseases and die earlier. Crazy, right? Like, why would I keep thinking that, and why would it actually happen? I know, it's kind of hard to believe, but science says that. So, in one experiment, students watched the same lecture 3 times, but with different titles. The most boring lecture, the most interesting lecture, and a study lecture. Unsurprisingly, the students thought the lecture was interesting, found it engaging, while the others didn't, because they thought it was just a study or a very boring one. Yeah. So, how do you think you'll break the cycle? Let me tell you. Start by reframing your mindset. Instead of dreading the class, tell yourself, this could be interesting. I could learn something. And if it turns out to be boring, focus on the bigger picture. Remind yourself why you're studying. whether it's to ace a test, master a skill, or achieve a long-term goal. Use both internal and external motivation to push through. So, let's be real. Studying wavelengths and frequencies in physics or whatever can feel like watching paint dry, right? Yeah. But what if your teacher tied it to something you actually care about? Like music, just to throw it out there. Suddenly, those abstract concepts become fascinating. For example, a physics teacher once used a piano and tuning forks to demonstrate how sound wave works. By connecting each lesson to something tangible and relatable, it can be way more engaging. This is called perceived control. When you link what you're learning to your interests, you take ownership of the material. Instead of thinking, oh, I have to study for this test, shift your mindset to, I get to learn something new. I can find new ways to make this enjoyable. You can actually use a few ways to make it enjoyable, like using a note-taking app, like TurboLearn AI or Notation. Or turn your study sessions into a game, like who can study the most, who can not look at your phone the most. Yeah. Find ways to make this process enjoyable. When it comes to enjoying the process, studying stops feeling like a chore. These are my final thoughts on everything. And the conclusion to this video. Studying does not have to be a grind. By finding your sweet spot, reframing your expectations, and linking what you're learning to your interests, you can turn it into something you actually look forward to. Remembering that it's not about making studying easy or making it like you're hacking the system. It's about making it engaging. What's your experience with studying? Have you found it more fun after this video? Share your tips and comments in below to help others out. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. I know every single YouTuber says that, I know, but like, I really need the support, and y'all can actually learn something from this. So, see you in the next video.